Sophia's store is thriving, and so is she. After that failed sale the week before, Sophia is doing so much better now. Her customers love the clothes she sells, and they do not shy away from letting her know that. Her business is booming, and Sophia is all for it. On her way home, she gets a text from Annie telling her to check the Daily Candy website, because Sophia just became famous. Sophia excitedly reads all the praise about Nasty Gal online, and she feels on top of the world as she dances to celebrate her success. But despite the happy comments, the negative ones catch Sophia's attention, and rain hell down on her parade. She prints out the internet comments and meets Annie in a cafe. She tells Annie about the bullies, like Beth Loves Yarn, who have mocked Sophia's vintage store's authenticity, calling Sophia even worse than Hitler. Annie tries comforting Sophia. She tells her that the negative comments only mean that she is doing something right, and that she is relevant. But Sophia just thinks they are flat-out lies meant to attack her. One of them compares her store to another vintage store on eBay named Remembrances. Sophia does not take that comparison well, because she knows for a fact that her store outsells Remembrances. She goes to the Remembrances store and sees long pants for sale. She cannot believe that woman is selling those long, thick pants in the middle of the summer. But then she is struck with an idea, and she buys those long pants. Sophia cuts them up, turning them into shorts, and then puts them up for sale in her own store. The shorts sell for triple the price that she paid for them. One night, Sophia is at her apartment cooking pasta when someone knocks on her door. Sophia opens it up and finds the owner of Remembrances at her doorstep. The lady, Gail, is there to talk to Sophia about the vintage pants that she turned into shorts and then sold off. Sophia proudly declares that she flipped those shorts for quite a profit, and Gail pulls them out of her bag, showing Sophia that she was the one who bought them. Gail takes a seat inside Sophia's apartment and mocks her for taking vintage clothing and desecrating it. Gail is there because she wants to handle the problem that she has with Sophia face to face. She tells Sophia about the Vintage Fashion Forum. It is an online community that prides itself on preserving and protecting vintage clothes. Gail accuses Sophia of violating the code of ethics of the community by cutting up those pants. She feels very strongly about preserving the vintage clothes as they are, wrapped up in acid-free paper and stored away neatly in a box. When Sophia responds callously to Gail's concern, it infuriates Gail further. She warns Sophia to do better if she does not want to make the forum angry. Sophia thinks that Gail is only angry because Sophia sold those shorts that she bought from her for more money, but Gail tells her it is not about business. Sophia is erasing history. But Sophia does not agree, and Gail decides to leave, disappointed by this whole interaction. She feels sorry for Sophia, who is not old enough to understand where Gail is coming from. But just as Gail walks out the door, Sophia can't let it go. She finds Gail outside and calls her out for judging Sophia without even knowing anything about her. Gail believes that the best way to understand someone is to know their story, and so she asks Sophia to tell her story. And then Sophia decides to show Gail what her story is. She takes Gail to the club and points at a few of her customers, telling Gail that the reason she alters clothes is because she knows what her customer wants. While Gail may be trying to preserve old memories, Sophia is helping women create new ones. That is what Nasty Gal represents. Gail understands Sophia's perspective, and the two hit an understanding of sorts. They get drinks together, and Sophia gets Gail to loosen up. They end up dancing on the floor, and when a random guy in the club tries to invade Sophia's space, Gail even comes to her rescue. The women bond over their love for vintage clothing. Gail tells Sophia about the forum. The people in the forum are basically a family, even though they have never met. Gail's the matriarch, and another woman named Betsy is the baby. Frederick is the black sheep of their family. Drunk Gail is much more fun and open than uptight. Sober Gail is, and Sophia is enjoying this version of her. Walking down the road, when Gail spots a stranger's dog that she is overly friendly with. Later, Sophia finds out that Gail has always wanted a dog, but she can't, because pets mean fur everywhere, and the garments she sells have to come from a pet-free home. Sophia advises Gail to just get a dog for herself. When Gail spots a vintage dress on a store's display, she instantly falls in love with it. She wants to buy it, but by the time the store opens in the morning, Gail would be on her way back to Reno. Seeing her upset, Sophia puts on her cape. She calls Mobius and threatens him into opening his store in the middle of the night. Lucky for the man and Gail, Mobius opens up the door. He lets the girls in and hands over the dress to Gail. Gail loves it so much. She just knows that there is a story behind that dress. In that story, a woman waits for her fiancé as he goes to war. While missing him, the woman comes across this dress and buys it, dreaming of wearing it for him when he returns. And when he does, the woman shows up to receive him wearing that very dress, and all is well in fantasy land. Seeing how passionate Gail is about that dress, Mobius decides to sell it to her for $200 instead of $300. Gail and Sophia return to her apartment. While they are talking, Sophia gets a text message from Shane saying that he misses her. It makes her smile, and Gail wonders if that is someone special. Sophia tells her about Shane and how nice he is. Way nicer than she is. Sophia considers herself a lucky girl. Gail did not think that with all the business talk that Sophia engages in, she would get personal with her. She thanks Sophia for letting her stay overnight until her next bus. As they get talking, Sophia finally finds out where Gail's obsession with vintage stuff comes from. Gail was a baby when her mother passed away, and so she never saw her. The only thing Gail had of her mother was her clothes, which her father never put away. As a young girl, Gail would spend hours inside her mother's closet, getting to know her through her clothes. She would obsessively ask her father about where her mother bought an item from, or if it was her favorite, or any question whose answer would make Gail feel closer to her mother. But most times, her father could not remember the answers to her questions, so Gail just started making up stories about it. Her mom's clothes still smell like her, because Gail preserved them in acid-free paper, and put them in a box, safe and sound. Hearing Gail's story, Sophia empathizes with her. She tells her about how her mother was not around much either. The only difference was that Sophia's mother left her when she was 12, and she took her clothes along with her. The women find comfort in the silence that follows. When the morning comes, Sophia wakes up to Gail's dress hanging in her apartment. She finds a note from Gail, thanking Sophia for the new memories that she helped her make. Sophia is touched by Gail's gesture. She spends her day trying to embrace a bit of Gail's spirit, and even buys the acid-free paper to store the dress Gail left for her. But at the crucial moment, Sophia's phone buzzes with a notification from one of her buyers. The girl wants to know when Nasty Gal will put up the homecoming dresses at her store, and Sophia's mind spins a different story for Gail's vintage dress. In her story, the woman in the flashback does not wait for her fiancé in that dress. Instead, she burns his picture. Then Sophia gets her trusty scissors ready. When Gail returns home, she greets her dresses, makes herself some tea, and opens up her eBay website. But the first thing she sees makes her lose her mind. Sophia has betrayed her yet again. She chopped up her precious vintage garment and made it into a short dress, which is now up for sale on Nasty Gal Vintage, and Gail is so mad.